Okay, so today we're venturing outdoors. Figuratively, at least for now. We're going to be exploring, spending time in nature. It's something we all kind of instinctively know feels good, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's that inherent pull. And what's really interesting, I think, is our way into this topic today. It's not, the usual scientific paper or some big environmental study.
No. What is it then?
It's actually a how-to guide, one designed for English language learners.
A how-to guide for English learners. Okay, that's unexpected. You might be wondering how that connects to a deep dive like this.
Right. It seems a bit basic, maybe.
Well, yeah, but the beauty of it, I think, is in that simplicity. By breaking down the language we use to talk about nature, it kind of reveals some really core reasons why it's so good for us.
It strips away the jargon, the complexity, gets right down to fundamentals.
Exactly. So just to be clear, this isn't an English lesson today.
No, definitely not.
But we're using this guide as a kind of springboard, to really explore the physical, the mental, even the social benefits of getting outside.
It's a pretty unique angle. I'm actually quite curious to see where this takes us.
Me too. Now, for you listening, maybe you're looking for that little bit of extra motivation to, step outside more often.
Or perhaps you already love being outdoors, but you want better ways to talk about why it matters to you.
Or maybe you're just curious about the sort of science or the psychology behind that good feeling you get after a walk in the park. What's really happening?
Yeah, what's underneath it all?
Precisely. So let's unpack this guide and see what insights it holds. Right away, it jumps into building vocabulary, which, okay, makes sense for learners.
It does. But it's really important for all of us, I'd argue. Having the right words. It's not just about talking to others.
Right. It helps you understand your own experience better.
Exactly. It sharpens your focus, helps you process what you're feeling, what you're noticing, and then you can share it more effectively, too. This guide actually organizes the vocabulary quite neatly. It starts with types of activities.
Okay, like what? What does it list?
Let's see. Hiking, camping, jogging, cycling, gardening, swimming, and picnicking.
That's a good range. Covers quite a bit.
It does. And, each one immediately brings a different sort of vibe to mind, doesn't it? Hiking.
Yeah, that's like physical challenge, maybe getting up high, seeing views.
And camping is more about maybe unplugging, getting away from screens.
Totally. That digital detox idea. What's interesting is how each activity seems to tap into a slightly different aspect of well-being. It's not just outside is good.
Precisely. Jogging is obviously very cardio-focused. Cycling adds that element of exploration, maybe covering more ground.
Right. And even something like gardening, which might seem calmer.
Oh, definitely. It offers that chance to sort of unwind. It's a very hands-on, direct connection with the earth, I find.
Yeah, there's something really grounding about, actually having your hands in the soil. Okay, so after activities, where does the guide go?
It moves on to the benefits, which makes sense. First, the physical health stuff.
Yeah.
Things like increased strength, better fitness levels, maybe feeling more energetic.
Things you'd expect from being active. I definitely feel that energy boost.
Me too. But then it covers mental health, which feels, incredibly important these days.
More than ever. What kind of things does it list there?
Well, that sense of peace, calmness, even just happiness. It mentions stress relief specifically.
Oh, yeah, the big one. Reducing anxiety, feeling more grounded or present.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. It also points out the social side.
Ah, right. Doing things with others outdoors.
Yeah, building friendships, maybe through a club or teamwork if you're doing something collaborative.
Yeah.
Even just strengthening bonds, like, say, on a group hike or a family picnic.
Shared experiences.
And then there's this overall feeling it describes as being rejuvenated, recharged, refreshed, more lively.
That ready to face the world again feeling.
Totally. It's quite striking how interconnected these all are, isn't it?
Yeah, the activity, the benefit, the feeling, they all link up.
It's a whole system. Okay, then the guide gives some basic nature words. Things like forest, mountain, lake, beach. Also sunlight, fresh air.
So the setting, basically, the environment itself. Having those words helps you describe where you were, what it was like.
Makes sharing the experience much richer, yeah. And then, logically, it lists emotions and feelings, relaxed, excited, refreshed, happy, those general good vibes words.
The outcomes, the internal state. What I found really neat was this little practice tip it gives quite early on.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It suggests consciously trying to pair an activity with a specific benefit and a feeling that goes with it.
Huh. That's actually quite clever, like making the connection explicit in your mind. Can you give an example?
Sure. The one they used was hiking improved my cardiovascular health It makes me feel invigorated.
Oh, I like that. Simple, direct. It forces you to be a bit more mindful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's something you listening could try. Next time you're out, just think, what am I doing? What's the benefit here? How does it actually make me feel?
Yeah, actively noticing those connections. Okay, so we've got this base layer of vocabulary. What's next in the guide's approach?
It moves into mastering key sentence structures. Again, aimed at learners. But the idea of clear communication is universal.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter what language, expressing yourself clearly is key. How does it break that down?
It starts super simple, basic subject, verb, object, the absolute building block.
Like, I enjoy swimming. Got it.
Then it adds a layer, connecting the activity to a benefit. Swimming is good exercise.
Okay, a little bit more information.
And then crucially adding the why. I swim because it's refreshing.
Ah, the personal motivation comes in. Still simple, though.
Very. But then it shows how you combine these. Like,
Yeah.
I love cycling because it keeps me fit. Or gardening helps me feel grounded.
Right. Starting to sound more descriptive, more natural. And I guess the point is these are just the foundation, right? You build from there.
Exactly. Once you have these basic patterns down, you can start adding more detail, more flavor, which naturally leads to the next part, using adjectives and adverbs.
Ugh. The words that add the color and texture make it more interesting.
Definitely. So instead of just air makes me feel good, which is okay, but a bit bland.
You say, fresh air makes me feel good. Much better. That one word fresh adds a lot.
It really does. Or instead of, I feel better after a run, maybe, I usually feel much better after a brisk run. Brisk tells you something about the run itself.
Yeah, it gives it energy.
And when you put adjectives and adverbs together, you can create really evocative images. The guide gives examples like, the majestic mountains made our hike unforgettable.
Ooh, nice. Paints a picture. Majestic, unforgettable.
Yeah. Or, I happily swam in the crystal clear lake. You can almost see it, feel it.
Yeah, happily and crystal clear. Adds so much. Okay, and the guide also mentions connecting words like because.
Yes, because, since, as, words that help you explain the reason behind something, show that cause and effect.
Crucial for explaining why you like something, not just that you like it.
Exactly. So for example, I go camping because it helps me disconnect from technology. States the reason clearly.
Very relatable reason for many people today.
Or, since walking is easy on my joints, I do it every day.
Yeah.
Explains the practical motivation.
Makes sense.
Or maybe something more general. As nature is inherently calming, I feel more relaxed outdoors. It connects the quality of nature to the feeling. Using these allows you to really articulate the personal value, why it matters to you.
Right. It's moving beyond just preferences to explaining the impact. Okay, so we have the words, the structures, the descriptive elements. Let's dig into those specific benefits the guide highlights more deeply, starting with physical health.
Okay. A big one, obviously.
Yeah.
The guide offers some useful phrases here like, it boosts my stamina, or it helps me maintain a healthy weight.
Practical stuff.
It strengthens my core muscles, things people often aim for with exercise. And it gives concrete examples, too, like when I go for a long hike, I build cardiovascular endurance and burn a significant number of calories.
So linking the activity directly to the physiological outcome.
Precisely. Another example was, cycling regularly not only improves my leg strength, but also contributes to a healthier heart.
Again, specific benefits tied to the action. And for you listening, you can think about your own fitness goals. Maybe hiking or cycling feels more appealing, more fun than, say, going to the gym. It's a valid way to get that exercise in.
Absolutely. And often more engaging, I find. Exploring somewhere, new beats, staring at a wall on a treadmill, for me anyway.
Okay, next up. Mental health. Hugely important.
Cannot overstate it. What phrases does the guide offer here?
Things like, it helps me declutter my mind. I like that one.
Me too. Kind of visual.
Or, it alleviates my anxiety.
Crucial for many.
And it fosters a sense of tranquility. Such a lovely word, tranquility. Really captures that deep calm.
It does. And the examples help make it real.
Yeah, like after spending time walking in the woods, I feel a significant reduction in my stress levels. I mean, who hasn't felt that?
Right. That sense of just release. Or this one, gardening provides me with a sense of focus and accomplishment, which is incredibly calming. Oh, that's a good one too. That focus, the gentle rhythm of it, it really highlights that deep, almost primal connection between our mental state and the natural world.
Yeah. It's not just fluff. It's a real tool for managing stress, improving your mood.
It really is.
Oh.
And there's actual science here. Studies show being in nature can literally lower cortisol levels.
The stress hormone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you feel calmer after being outside, it's not just in your head.
Mm.
There are physiological changes happening, which is pretty amazing.
It is. Okay, so physical, mental. What about the social side?
Right. Connecting with others outdoors. The guide has phrases like, it's a fantastic way to connect with others, or I've met some wonderful people through outdoor clubs.
Building community.
And it deepens the bonds I have with my friends. The examples really drive this home.
Yeah.
Going camping with a group of friends creates lasting memories and strengthens our relationships.
Oh, yeah, those shared adventures, even the mishaps sometimes, really bond people.
Totally. Or playing team sports outdoors like soccer helps me build camaraderie and connect with others who share my interests.
Finding your tribe, basically.
Exactly. Whether it's, helping each other on a tough trail or just chatting over that picnic, those shared moments build connection. Okay, and finally, the guide brings in environmental benefits.
Which feels increasingly relevant. How does it frame that?
It uses phrases like, it fosters a greater appreciation for the natural world, or choosing active transport options reduces my environmental impact.
Making that link between personal choice and the planet.
Yeah. And being outdoors makes me more aware of conservation efforts. The examples are practical. Cycling to work instead of driving helps lower carbon emissions.
Simple, direct action.
Or hiking through diverse ecosystems highlights the importance of protecting these natural habitats. That direct experience can be really powerful.
Seeing it firsthand makes you care more.
Exactly. Yeah. It suggests that being in nature often leads to a deeper respect for nature, which can then influence our behavior, make us more inclined towards sustainability. It's like a positive feedback loop. You benefit, so you want to protect it.
That makes a lot of sense. Benefit leads to appreciation, leads to action. Okay, so we've covered the core stuff. Words, sentences, benefits. What about adding a bit more personality?
Ah, yes, the guide gets into that too, making the language sound more natural, more fluent. It talks about using idioms and phrasal verbs.
Right, those expressions that don't always mean what the individual words suggest.
Exactly. Idioms add color, often express things quite concisely. Phrasal verbs, a verb plus a preposition or adverb like workout are super common in everyday speech.
So using these makes you sound less like a textbook, more like a real person chatting.
Pretty much, yeah. The guide gives some good idiom examples like blow off steam.
Meaning to release stress or frustration.
Right. After a demanding day at work, I often go for a jog to blow off steam. Classic use.
Definitely done that. What else?
In the fresh air simply means outdoors. I always feel more invigorated when I spend time in the fresh air.
Simple but effective.
And recharge your batteries. To restore your energy, a weekend camping trip in the mountains really helps me recharge my batteries.
Perfect idiom for that feeling. These definitely add a more informal, natural flavor. And phrasal verbs.
Super useful. It lists workout, meaning exercise. I try to work out by cycling several times a week.
Very common one.
Wind down, meaning to relax, especially after activity or before bed. Gardening in the evening helps me wind down.
Nice. A calming one.
And catch up, meaning to spend time talking with someone you haven't seen much. We often catch up with friends over a picnic in the park.
Combining the social and the outdoors, these phrasal verbs are everywhere in spoken English. Using them really does make conversation flow better.
It absolutely does. Okay, so we've got the language components down. The guide then shifts gears a bit into the practicalities of actually having conversations about these things.
Okay, moving from theory to practice.
Yeah.
How to talk the talk.
Exactly. Because knowing the words is one thing, but using them smoothly in a conversation is another. It covers how to start, how to keep it going, and even how to end a chat about outdoor stuff gracefully.
A full conversational roadmap? How does it suggest starting?
With open-ended questions, mostly, like, do you enjoy spending time outdoors? Simple, non-threatening.
Easy entry point.
Or you could share your own view first. I find hiking to be incredibly rewarding. Then maybe ask them.
Put your cards on the table.
Yeah, or invite them directly.
What are some of your favorite outdoor activities? Just gentle ways to open the door.
Makes sense. And keeping it going. Active listening is key, of course, but also adding your own related details and asking follow-up questions, showing you're actually engaged.
Right, like if they say something you agree with. I totally agree. Being close to nature is so calming.
Yeah, validating their point, or adding a bit more. And I find it's also a great way to discover local wildlife. Building on what they said.
And then asking a follow-up. Have you explored any new trails recently? Keeps the ball rolling, shows interest.
Exactly. Makes it a real back and forth. And then, crucially, ending the conversation well.
Yeah, avoiding that awkward silence or abrupt stop.
Right. The guide suggests, maybe summarizing briefly, so it sounds like we both find a lot of value in spending time outdoors. Ties it up nicely.
A little recap.
Or maybe suggesting a future connection. Maybe we could plan a hike together sometime, if it feels appropriate.
Turning talk into potential action. Nice.
And just using polite closing remarks. It's been great chatting about this. Simple courtesy. It just leaves things on a positive, engaged note. Okay, another important point the guide makes is about adapting your language.
Ah, right. Context matters. You don't talk the same way to your best friend as you do in a, say, work presentation.
Precisely. Formality changes everything: word choice, sentence length, tone. So, in a casual chat with friends, the guide notes you might use slang. Be more relaxed. I love hitting the trails. It's so chill and good for my head.
Yeah, or getting some outdoor time is just the best for unwinding. Very informal.
Exactly. But switch to a formal setting, like giving a presentation. You choose more precise, maybe slightly more complex language. Engaging in outdoor recreational activities offers significant benefits for both physical and mental health.
Much more formal tone.
Or, these activities contribute effectively to our overall well-being. More serious? No slang.
Definitely a different register. And writing, like an essay.
Even more structured, usually. The guide suggests using connecting words like firstly, furthermore, for instance, to link ideas clearly. You'd likely provide more detailed explanations, maybe cite evidence. For instance, studies have indicated that exposure to natural light can positively influence our circadian rhythms.
More academic requires more support for claims, so knowing your audience, knowing the situation, that's key.
Absolutely essential for effective communication. Now, the guide doesn't shy away from common challenges either, things anyone might run into.
Oh, like what? Forgetting a word mid-sentence happens to me all the time.
Exactly. That's a big one. The guide suggests a simple workaround. Use more general terms. Describe the thing, that activity, the one where you walk in the forest.
Circumlocution, talking around it.
Or it's when you go for long walks in nature for enjoyment. Get the meaning across even if the perfect word isn't there.
Good fallback strategy. What other challenges?
Pronunciation can be tricky, especially with certain words. The guide mentions hiking and relaxed as examples that might trip some people up.
I can see that.
The advice is simple. Listen to native speakers. Pay attention to how they say things. Use online dictionaries with audio. Practice.
Solid advice.
And then there's confidence. It's just feeling comfortable speaking up.
Yeah, that can be a hurdle for sure, especially if you're worried about mistakes.
Totally. The guide encourages starting small, maybe even just talking to yourself about your outdoor experiences first, like a low-stakes practice run.
Rehearsing it a bit.
Yeah. And reminding yourself that mistakes are okay. They're part of learning, part of communicating. Don't let the fear stop you from trying. Keep practicing. Okay, one last interesting area the guide touches on is cultural nuances.
Ah, how different cultures might talk about or view nature activities.
Exactly. It points out that, for example, some English-speaking cultures might really emphasize the challenge, the achievement. We conquered that mountain, that kind of language.
Right, very goal-oriented.
Whereas others might focus more on the peaceful, restorative side. A gentle stroll in the countryside can be quite therapeutic, more about the feeling, the experience itself.
Different emphasis? Being aware of that could be helpful when talking to people from different backgrounds.
It really can. It helps you understand their perspective better. The guide also warns against making broad generalizations.
Like assuming everyone loves camping.
Exactly. Or that everyone finds the beach relaxing. People have individual preferences. So instead of assuming, it suggests asking open questions. Do you enjoy spending time by the sea? Rather than, isn't the sea wonderful?
More inclusive, respectful of differences.
Precisely. It just shows how language and culture are really intertwined. Understanding those subtleties makes communication much richer, more effective.
Definitely. So, wow, we've covered a lot kind of journeying through this English Learner's Guide. We're metaphorically stepping back inside now, I guess.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that simple framework actually opened up such a comprehensive look at why being outdoors matters physically, mentally, socially, environmentally.
It really did. And as the guide implicitly shows, having the language, the words, the confidence to talk about these things, it really does enrich your own experience, doesn't it? And helps you connect with others about it.
Absolutely. So for you listening, maybe the final thought is this. How can you consciously weave even small moments of nature or outdoor time into your routine? Even just 5 minutes looking out a window or a short walk at lunch. what positive effects might that start to build?
That's a great question to ponder. It doesn't have to be a huge expedition. And perhaps, maybe this chat has inspired you to strike up a conversation with someone about your own favorite way to experience nature.
Yeah, share that appreciation. Well, thank you for joining us on this rather unexpected deep dive today.
It's been really interesting. Thanks for listening.
1. The power of consistency. Consistency is the cornerstone of language acquisition. Engaging with English daily, even for just 15 minutes, can lead to significant improvements over time. Regular practice reinforces memory, enhances fluency, and builds confidence. It's not about the duration, but the regularity of practice that makes a difference. Building confidence through daily practice. Regular exposure to English helps in reducing the fear of making mistakes. As you become more familiar with the language, your confidence grows, making it easier to engage in conversations and express yourself clearly. This confidence is crucial for effective communication in both personal and professional settings. Enhancing cognitive abilities. Learning English isn't just about language. It also boosts cognitive functions. Daily practice improves memory, problem-solving skills, and attention to detail. Engaging with a new language stimulates the brain, leading to better mental agility and overall cognitive health. Setting achievable goals. Successful learners set clear, measurable goals. Whether it's learning 5 new words a day or having a short conversation in English, setting targets keeps you motivated and provides a sense of accomplishment. Tracking progress helps in maintaining momentum and adjusting strategies as needed. Immersing yourself in the language. Immersion is a powerful tool for language learning. Surround yourself with English through movies, music, books, and conversations. Changing your phone or computer settings to English can also provide constant exposure, helping you think and operate in the language naturally. Utilizing technology. And resources leverage language learning apps and online platforms to supplement your studies. Tools like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memrise offer structured lessons that can be integrated into your daily routine. These resources provide interactive and engaging ways to practice vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. Engaging in active listening and speaking active participation is key. Engage in conversations with native speakers or fellow learners. Practice listening through podcasts, audiobooks, or news broadcasts. Speaking and listening are essential skills that improve with regular use and real-world application. Reading and writing regularly. Incorporate reading and writing into your daily habits. Reading diverse materials enhances vocabulary and comprehension, while writing exercises improve grammar and expression. Keeping a journal or writing essays can be effective ways to practice and reflect on your learning journey. Embracing mistakes as learning opportunities. Mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. Instead of fearing errors, view them as opportunities to improve. Seek feedback, analyze your mistakes, and understand how to correct them. This approach fosters a growth mindset and accelerates learning. 10. Staying motivated and persistent. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Maintain motivation by celebrating small victories and reminding yourself of your goals. Persistence is crucial. Even when progress seems slow, consistent effort will lead to improvement over time. Developing a personal learning routine. One of the strongest ways to sustain progress in English is to design your own routine. Every learner is different. Some prefer learning in the morning, others at night. Some like to write, others prefer listening or watching. The key is to make it yours. When the routine fits your lifestyle, it becomes part of your identity, not a burden, but a natural part of your day. A personal routine removes excuses and builds accountability. 1. Integrating English into daily activities. Learning English should not feel like a separate chore. It should be woven into your normal activities. You cook? Watch recipe videos in English. You commute? Listen to an English podcast? You scroll through social media? Follow English-speaking accounts. By turning passive time into learning time, you maximize exposure and make English part of your world, not something outside of it. B. Focusing on input. Before output, to speak well, you must listen more. To write well, you must read more. Strong. Learners focus heavily on input. They fill their minds with correct English, spoken, written, formal, informal, before trying to produce their own. The brain works better when it has strong samples to imitate. So, before worrying about your own speaking or writing, absorb the language around you. Good input leads to strong, natural output. Training your ear for real. English. Real English sounds different than textbook English. People speak fast. They use contractions, slang, and emotion. That's why you must train your ear to real-world English. Listen actively, not passively. Try to catch patterns, tones, and emphasis. Replay sentences, imitate them. Understand not just what is said, but how it is said. This habit makes you a better listener, speaker, and communicator. Paymith. Practicing. Mindful speaking. Many learners speak quickly to hide their uncertainty, but speaking slowly and clearly is more powerful. It gives you time to think, pronounce better, and control your message. Mindful speaking is not about speed. It's about clarity, confidence, and control. Every sentence you speak is practice. Treat each one with care, and your speaking will improve more than you think. Synonyms. Building vocabulary with context memorizing word lists is not enough. The most effective way to learn new words is in context. Learn how they are used, not just what they mean. See them in sentences. Use them in your own writing. Hear them in conversations. A word remembered in context is a word remembered for life. This habit leads to a deeper, more flexible vocabulary. 7. Making English a part of your identity. The most powerful learners don't just study English. They live it. They think in English. They dream in English. They start defining themselves as English users, not just learners. When English becomes part of your identity, your brain adapts faster, motivation lasts longer, and your habits become stronger. Don't wait until you're fluent. Start calling yourself an English speaker today and live like one. 18. Avoiding perfection paralysis. Many learners block their own progress by aiming for perfection. They fear mistakes. They fear sounding silly. But the truth is, nobody speaks perfectly, not even native speakers. The goal is to communicate, not perform. Let go of perfection. Embrace progress. Every mistake is proof that you're learning. Focus on getting better, not being perfect. Confidence grows from action, not flawless grammar. Reviewing what you learn. Repetition builds mastery. Reviewing is not a sign of weakness. It's a tool for strengthening memory. Review your notes, rewatch old videos, reread previous texts. Go over mistakes. Reflect on your growth. Each review is a mental connection being reinforced. The brain remembers what it sees often, not what it sees once. Make review a regular part of your English habit. Sud, celebrating milestones. Big or small, you don't have to wait for fluency to celebrate. Every new word you learn, every sentence you speak without hesitation, every moment you understand a native speaker, it's all worth celebrating. These small wins keep your spirit high. They give you the strength to keep going. A good habit is one you feel proud of. Celebrate your progress, and your habit will continue growing stronger.